Welcome to Blue Monday, an Ipswich Town podcast for the Rewind Show, where we look forward to looking back at some of the last times we played our upcoming opponents. Hello, my name is Craig Fimbo. Welcome back to the Blue Monday Rewind Show, where we look at the last time we played our forthcoming opponents in the top division and also more matches from the not so distant past. Now, normally, as if keen viewers, listeners to the Arsenal Rewind Show will say, I normally say, well, we are your first instalment of the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Blue Monday build-up. Christ knows what's going on now, or when this is going out, or when you're listening to it, or indeed if we're still called Blue Monday by the time this comes about. But Arsenal on the Friday, Chelsea on the Monday. Took her for a drink on Tuesday.
There we go.
Welcome to David Diamond. Is the festive period treating you well?
I think so far. Yeah, so far. Yeah.
Did you have an enjoyable Christmas day?
Oh, here we go.
What did you get?
Oh well, far too many presents to mention, really.
Just a glimpse behind the curtain there.
Glimpse behind the curtain.
Yeah. The costume department may give away when this is being recorded in respect to the Arsenal Rewind Show.
I mean, I can't believe what happened on EastEnders. I mean, it was terrible, wasn't it? What a shock that was. Anyway,
but the Arsenal match day. Anyway, no, let's not.
Anyway, who'd have thought?
Surprising.
But season? No, anyway.
We're in the Premier League, Dave. We're talking about Arsenal. We're talking about Chelsea. You know, this is why we're here. You know, results may or may not be going the way we want to, but you know, we're playing these large football clubs, aren't we? And it's all good.
Yeah, we are. We're in the last throes. I'm sorry for those out there who perhaps think we'll get a bit negative talking about this particular season, but that's our blueprint, isn't it, Craig? Our blueprint is we cover the last time we played these teams if we played them in the Premier League, and unfortunately, a great majority of them were of this particularly what turned out to be ultimately depressing season.
And as ever, if you wish to comment, if you were at these particularly depressing matches, if you'd like to comment about your memories of those, then please do, alongside liking and subscribing and sticking thumbs up, etc. So, Dave, the Chelsea, we were playing on April Fool's Day 2002, which was Easter Monday, I assume, given it was a Monday.
Yeah, I think it was. Kickoff. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
We'd played West Ham on the Saturday, so we were playing Easter Saturday, Easter Monday.
Yeah, I went to that West Ham game. Yeah. I think we covered that before. That was the day coming out of that game. Learnt the Queen Mother had died. Just bit of triv for you there, but remember that West Ham game, and then away tickets were so much easier to come by in those days. But anyway, it's another point for some of us. Sorry.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, do you not get points for being at that particular West Ham?
No, sadly not. Sadly not. No. Those 2 seasons, crikey, I went to a good few away games those 2 Premier League seasons, but sadly, no point. No, tickets were fairly easy to come by.
And you remember the West Ham game. You probably also remember what was number 1 in the charts, given it's the same number 1 that was in the charts for the Arsenal match.
Gareth Gates.
Gareth Gates, Unchained Melody. Yeah, that's like 25% of our show is trying to get Dave to guess what the number 1 in the charts was at the time. It's pretty much the same bloody song every time.
Anyway. It is. It's certainly not for spoiler alert for the next game we're covering. It's something slightly different, I believe.
No.
Anyway,
you've already cheated, right? Okay, we'll come across that when we talk about it in 10 so minutes' time. In terms of the league table, form-wise, keen listeners, as I say, to the Arsenal Rewind Show will realise that this match we're talking about is only 2 games before that Arsenal 2-0 loss. We still hadn't won since February, and the next match is a Freddie Bobic-inspired 4-1 loss to Bolton.
Yeah,
and Freddie scored 3/4 of his goals, his Bolton career goals in that one match.
Yeah.
So we were going into that crucial Bolton. No, can't lose Bolton match with the game at home to Chelsea. Chelsea themselves find themselves up in 5th position. Claudio Ranieri.
Ranieri. Yeah.
So yeah, we won't look at that table too much. We've seen that far too often.
It's depressing
this season. Cover star of the week, the program, Ipswich Town program, a Champions League winner, Dave.
Well, looking through our squad, I think it's possibly Fanidi, George.
Yes,
there he is.
You are correct.
There he is in all his glory.
Yep, Fanidi celebrated a World Cup goal. How did he famously celebrate a World Cup goal, Dave?
Oh, I don't know.
Did he not cock his leg like a urinating dog?
Did he? Did he? I don't think, did he honestly? Do you know what? I don't think I've ever. I'm going to immediately YouTube that after this. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, did he? Sure he did, didn't he? Did he not? He ran through from the halfway line and like dinked it over the goalkeeper, and then got on all fours and mimicked her.
Did he? Honestly.
Oh my God! If I've had some sort of fever dream, and
no, I'm sure you haven't. It's just shocked that I've never seen. I probably have seen it and senile, just forgotten. How would you forget that? How would you forget?
Or would you? Or probably more worrying, how would you make it up if it's not true?
Well, that's true. I can remember. I mean, obviously, Fanidi, he liked to dink Fanidi, so I can imagine him doing that. But no, I'm right on that after this.
Yeah,
that's
it wasn't not as impressive as the Sunderland dink, but it was
a World Cup. The Sunderland dink was the dink of dinks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a World Cup dink. Now this match, the 1st of April, it was the opening of the 2-tier North.
Yes, now I do remember that. I didn't remember Fanini's leg cock, but I can remember that. Yeah.
So an extra 2,500 fans. I think they just basically put. It was the time when the roof had been put on, so they could open up the top tier and chuck another 2,500 fans.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, there was 20 odd thousand at this one, wasn't it? Yeah.
28,053.
28 was it? 28.
28,53. Yeah.
Crikey! Oh, I know what game I'm referring to. Yeah.
In terms of our lineup, it's Tommy Miller's first Premier League start.
Tommy, what a player! What a guy! What a guy! Yeah.
Came in alongside Matty Holland. Peralta was playing on the left. Fanidi, the aforementioned Fanidi on the right. Marcus Bent, Alan Armstrong, a Stewartless Ipswich.
Stewart on the bench, I think. Yeah.
Maybe coming back from an injury,
possibly.
You would assume.
Yeah,
And the back four: Hryderson, Venus, McGreal, Wilness, Andy Marshall in goal. In terms of the Chelsea team, Dave, I'll get that up here. We're looking at quite a nice solid back four there with internationals dotted all the way along it. Graham Lasso as your left back, Terry, and a pretty formidable centre half pairing of John Terry and Marcel Desailly. Maybe 3 names in the middle there that in the midfield that not as certainly from an un-Chelsea perspective. Mario Stanic, your man Jokanovic, who we'd come across a few times, I suppose, in the Championship as a manager. Sam Dallabonna,
of course, Sam Dallabonna, and obviously the great Zola there. I know we spoke about Arsenal and the overseas players. He'd be right up there, wouldn't he? What a great player. Mikel Forsell was a player I liked as well. He was decent touch when he's silky player. Yeah, really.
Yeah, he did a good job for him, didn't he? At that particular time,
I think he did.
For a potentially unfashionable type player. I
think he did. Yeah, he did. And obviously, you got the prolific Jimmy Floyd out front. Interesting couple of names on the Bodo Zenden and Idager Johnson, always rated on the bench. So yeah, that's quite strong. I know we spoke about the midfield three, perhaps unfashionable, but perhaps not the more well-known midfield three for Chelsea back then. But yeah, it's a good, decent squad of players, isn't it?
In terms of the match itself, it wasn't too much to write home about, other than it ended up 0-0. We had lots of shots, but as we spoke about this particular season before, we had a lot of play, but didn't score quite as many goals as our play may have required or indeed needed. But we had a decent shot from 12 yards out, Dave, and didn't make the most of it.
No, we didn't. No, he's quite a good. I mean, he hits it quite. It's Marcus Bent, isn't it? I think is it Marcus Bent takes a pen. Yeah, it's a decent enough, but low to the keeper's right. Kudagini just guesses right, doesn't he? Really, Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that had given us at the time a much needed boost, another 2 points at the time. But yeah, wasn't to be. And as we said, reflecting back on the Arsenal game, some pretty difficult fixtures we had coming up to finish off the season, didn't we?
Yeah, but I think talk about Marcus Bent, and you've spoken about him before in this particular season. He'd scored 10 goals leading up to this game, so
He's really good, wasn't he?
he was well within his
Yeah.
rights to try and take the penalty.
Oh
wasn't he?
yeah, no, he went on that run, didn't he? Again, during that period when we won those consecutive games, we had that great run. He went on a virtually scoring every game, wasn't he? He was really great for me. Yeah, like Marcus Bent just looked like a proper, good build for a striker, wasn't he? Quite big, strong, good touch as well. Just had loads of clubs, didn't he?
Yeah.
just never really settled, did he? But yeah, good player. And I quite like that front. So I thought, I thought Alan Armstrong was a pretty underrated player. To be fair, he had a bit about him. Didn't he? Had a goal in him as well. Just obviously wasn't to be.
It certainly wasn't to be. And this is how the league table looked after the event. So yeah, we found ourselves 2 points adrift at the bottom, but with as I say, a crucial game at Bolton coming up.
Must win. Yeah.
I must not let Freddie Bobic score a hat-trick.
Oh yeah, must win. I mean, looking even a must lose would have kept us with a squeak, I guess, wouldn't it? But yeah, wasn't to be, unfortunately.
Ifs, buts, and maybes that season. And as I said, we played on the Saturday, we played on the Monday, and one quote from Claudio Ranieri after the match caught my eye. "It is impossible to play 2 games in 3 days. Only horses can do it." Wise words from future Premier League winner.
Wise words, and spoiler alert, even some stranger words we'll hear from him coming up, I think.
What aren't strange words are the words that Mikey Penty Smith is about to push into your ears as we have a quick word from our friends at Atwell's.
Blue Monday is proudly brought to you in partnership with our friends at Atwell Solicitors, your ideal legal partner for work on property or business law. Their client care has repeatedly been recognised as outstanding, and they are people-focused with a plain English approach which sets them apart. They have offices in Ipswich, Colchester and London, and to find out more, head to atwells.com.
Also, a big thanks to our friends at All About Hearing, Suffolk-based hearing care professionals. Help you out if you've got any personal hearing needs or requirements. allabouthearing.co.uk. Book appointments online to get them to take a look, etc., etc. Thanks to them, and also thanks to One Stop Badges. If you need a PIN badge, if you need a badge, take a look. One Stop Badges, we've got a few ourselves dotted around the pod team and around our pod followers. Dave might have one very close to his
last one.
Monitor.
That is the last one to give away. Gave away a few yesterday, but that is the very last one.
So if you see Dave over the Christmas period, he may well indeed, like they do in the department stores around East Anglia, he may wrap it up for you before he hands it.
I'll wrap it up in a Rowan Atkinson Love Actually kind of way. Quite theatrical kind of way. Yeah, I will.
With a bow on top. Yeah. And speaking about Christmas, we're heading back to Boxing Day 2000, Dave. Tuesday, the 26th of December. A match.
Happier times.
Chelsea at home.
Yep.
Ipswich Town flying high in the league. Who was flying high in the charts, Dave? It seems that you may have already
I cheated on this one. I did cheat. I looked. I must admit, I looked this one for 2000. I had no clue. I looked, and
it was the biggest selling single of the year, and then the ninth best selling single of the decade.
It's Bob the Builder, isn't it? Is it? Is it not? Have I got that wrong?
It's Bob the Builder.
It is, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure I looked last night when I was looking at this. I'm sure I looked. Yeah, yesterday evening. Yeah. Bob the Builder. Can we fix it? Massive.
Losing their minds, aren't they? What the hell are they playing it? The 9th best-selling single of the entire decade, Bob the Builder.
It was. Yeah, I remember my kids watching it. It was massive and had all the little models and stuff like that. It was huge, wasn't it? Yeah. I bet. would it have been before that? I bet probably you'll find Mr. Blobby wasn't that far off of that as well. I bet that sold a few and all. Must have
You
done.
talk about Cliff Richard. I think he's a bit harsh on him, mate. He's not. He's quite svelte for a man in his 70s at the time.
I'm talking about those novelty records, which we don't
Yeah.
see anymore. It's such a shame. We just don't get those novelty records anymore, do
Apart
we?
from the man in his sausage rolls. Yeah,
Apart
you're
from
right.
the man and his sausage rolls. Yeah, don't think has had one out this year, has he?
In terms of the league table, Dave, bringing us a little bit back onto track. We're going into the game. We just lost 2-0 at Old Trafford the Saturday before. Before that, we'd beaten Southampton at home, and it was the Marcus Stewart Liverpool away match. So that's sort of the realms of where we were at heading into this game. Found ourselves in 5th, a familiar position as it would turn out to be that season. Chelsea down in 9th with a bit of a.
Looking at that, what I don't recall. What the bloody hell are Leicester up to? Flipping heck.
Yeah, good point.
What
actually,
a season they're having. I don't recall that at all. I really don't. But what a season. Well, certainly early part of the season.
First half of the season, anyway.
First half, yeah.
But as you say, I don't remember them being in the conversation.
Not at all.
The second half of the season at all. No.
Not at all.
Oh, fair play. Yeah, great stuff. In terms of the cover star, a distinct lack of baubles in what was a
festive game.
Festive game, yeah. I don't know what else I can tell you in terms of clues. He was player of the season.
Who was player of the season that season?
In our first Premier League season.
Who was it?
Who was wearing?
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
Who was wearing blue shorts? Look at those blue shorts. I'm not sure about them, mate.
Are you not? Oh, I quite look at that. What game would that have been then with the blue shorts?
Yeah,
Marcus
blue and
Stewart,
blue.
look at that. Yeah,
and it looks like actually we were speaking in the Arsenal Rewind show about sock tags in the Leeds.
It does look like
Leeds
that.
were wearing.
It does look like he's got a sneaky. Can't say it. A sneaky sock tag there.
Sneaky snock.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, quite a disappointingly plain cover for a festive.
It is
period.
really, yeah. When you think back to some of those programs from the '80s, and there's Johnny Walker and all the players in full Santa regalia,
dressed as
isn't it?
Santa, yeah, that's
absolutely.
right.
Absolutely, disappointing.
Disappointing. In terms of the lineup, here we find ourselves now. Scowcroft had come in for Magilton's, and I think he was playing.
I liked him in that role.
A poor man's Steve Whitton role. Wide on the right.
I liked Scowcroft in that role, didn't you? He was really, really good in that role, I thought.
He sort of got the best out of, well, similar to what it did to Steve Whitton, really. I don't want to go on about him, but it sort of brought out the best in their abilities.
All round game, yeah. And certainly, spoiler alert, but one of these goals is, very much that way. Yeah, no, I did like him there. Found a sort of a nice little role for himself in that position, didn't he?
Yeah. Titus Bramble come in for John McGreal at the back.
Other than that, it's sort of standard.
Yeah. Hryderson actually come in for Gary Croft. Gary Croft had played the game before. So
all right.
In terms of the Chelsea team, Dave, quite a name or two that we don't maybe recognise. Sam Della Bona being one of them, but other than that, a few. Familiar.
Sam Della Bona, tiny midfield pairing of Dennis Wise and Morris, and he said, I mean, look at that front three. Yeah, really, really potent front three. And I know we spoke about for the Arsenal rewind, we spoke about these overseas players playing, and Zola again. We spoke about top 10 and Henry and Bergkamp and Vieira, and Zola would be up there as well, wouldn't he? What a great player! Great player.
100%. And Good Johnson, who'd moved from Bolton, our nemesis at times in the league below, and had gone on a big money move to Chelsea from there, hadn't he?
Great player. I mean, you say with Good Johnson, and perhaps should have made more, but he ended up, he went to Barcelona, didn't he? I've got that right.
Yeah, I think he did.
He did. Yeah. Yeah, I always liked him, and I mean, obviously Hasselbank again talking about overseas players again, he'd be probably up there somewhere just for his sheer number of goals he scored. Yeah, great player.
Yeah, and I think seeing from the lineup and the highlights that we saw that Desailly was playing over towards the left-hand side of that defence. He was certainly playing to the left of John Terry,
Yeah.
with Melchot as right back. So I assume that he was maybe not a textbook left back, but certainly over that side of the pitch.
Frank LeBeuf, just throw him in there as well. Yeah, some names in that side, isn't it?
Yeah, Frank Beef.
Beef.
In terms of the match itself, excuse me, we found ourselves in a bit of trouble after 20 minutes, didn't we?
Would you describe these two finishers as clinical? I would. I think both by Good Johnson. The first one's a ridiculous side foot volleyed finish, in it, absolute class. And then almost kind of carbon copy a few minutes later. I think it's only about 5-6 minutes. I think 8-9 minutes between both goals, and the second one's a lovely goal. They sort of work the ball in midfield, and Della Bona outside of the foot wide to Hasselbank that peels off, and he kind of gets down near the byline, cuts it back, and it's a great finish as well. First time right foot, side foot from about 10 yards, just you can't get anywhere near it. It's a couple of really, really good finishes by Good Johnson.
Yeah,
2-0 down in 17 minutes, and it's hard, isn't it? That season, it's a game you turn up to, you think, oh yeah, you just expect a win, just mad, isn't it? And I can remember it. I'm sure I can remember it at the time. Oh, this is a bit of a shock to the system. What's going on here? 2-0 down.
Yeah, but similar to the Ipswich Town vintage of nowadays, we just kept going, didn't we? And it's sort of a couple of things sparked us into life. One of which was a barnstorming Titus Bramble run straight through the middle of the pitch.
There's a tackle at the end of this run where he absolutely nearly snaps. I don't know who it is. He nearly snaps him in half, though, doesn't he? It's an unbelievable. And that's what sets it up. There's another passage of play, isn't it? But that's really what gets it going, and culminating with a Wilness, really good cross. Wilness had that in him, didn't he? And again, Scowcroft, as we said, just getting up, sort of almost back post, getting above his marker and heads it down and bounces above De Hoy, doesn't it? It's a great header. Yeah.
As that cross to the back post. Was a fruitful process for us in this particular match. So we went in at half-time 2-1 down.
He was so good in the air, Scowcroft. And again, kind of underrated, really, I think, a bit, Scowcroft. They're obviously appreciated by us, but yeah, he scored some important goals, and like I said, in that role off the left, he was really dangerous, wasn't he?
Yeah, and we start off well with the second half. And Stuart, I think, nicks the ball and has a hell of a shot, which De Hoy manages to claw out of the top corner, doesn't he? Although Dennis Wise misses a completely
now you've
open
got
goal.
There's YouTube footage of this. You have to see this. He's one of those ones where I know Zola hits it across, and I think Wright might even get a hand to it. I don't know if he does, but he's literally inches out, isn't it? And he just sort of throws himself forward, and somehow it's harder to do what he does. He hits it back across the face of the goal and out the other side, doesn't he?
Yeah, a crazy miss, and not when you hear. Well, it probably wasn't a fashionable match at the time or live, etc., so it probably wasn't picked up on, but. Yeah, a ridiculous miss.
This is certainly goal. Barry Davis. Some classic Barry Davis commentary on this game is brilliant. Yeah.
But our cross to the back post tactic bears fruit in the 82nd minute, Dave. We claw back to 2-2.
It's a trademark, isn't it? Venus, cultured left foot, then he just pumps one, to be fair. And what a jump this is by Scowcroft. He gets up, I can't remember, maybe even be above John Terry. I don't know who he beats in the air, but anyway, beats in the air, sort of heads it, not say down, but gets a flick on. And Stewart, in his sort of, as he was that season, his predatory best, sort of like on the angle of 6-yard box. First time volley, beats De Hoy in his near post, but there's a lot of power behind that. And De Hoy just can't get down and keep it out, can he?
Yeah, it's a great finish, though, isn't it? It's a high ball.
He's dipping, it's coming over his shoulder. Yeah, he's technically so good, wasn't he? Absolutely brilliant. And obviously, and then we sort of, after that, we pushed for despite the Wise miss just before that, and seemingly, and what I remember and looking at the highlights, sort of looks like we're going to get the winner. We can't quite force the winner. But there's a really funny interview with Barry Davis, Claudio Ranieri, and his interpreter. So it's brilliant, isn't it?
He was one of the most famous people in the country at the time, wasn't he? Claudio Ranieri's interpreter.
Is that right?
He was having to be because he was on obviously
Oh no, he's on everywhere.
on everything, wasn't he? Yeah.
Oh, he was out, and he's quite funny because he's got his obviously brilliant Italian accent, but then when he speaks, well, Claudio's what he's actually saying is he's quite funny, but there's a lot in there, and Davis can't. Good old Barry Davis just can't leave it alone because he's sort of saying, I thought we were going to lose or something like that. I thought this was a match we were going to lose, but then we should have won. And it's all over the place, isn't it? The poor old interpreter saying, "Oh my God, how do I decipher this?" But yeah, it's quite funny. But good memory again. Just great memories of that game, and as of that season, despite what happens the season after, what an incredible season! Crikey.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but as you said before, Dave, this is just showing the league table from after the match. Still found ourselves in fifth position, but above us were Leicester and Sunderland in fourth and third, respectively.
Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, amazing. Yeah, really was. Yeah. Obviously, Man United were fairly dominant that season. Although not necessarily, we did. I mean, I know we got beat 2-0 up there. We got the draw against them famously that first home game, but they were pretty dominant that season, weren't they? I mean, look at some of the names in there. You just forget. I mean, they got relegated and never been obviously falling through the leagues, but Bradford City, the Middlesbrough there, Coventry still a Premier team, Derby,
Charlton.
Oh my God, incredible, isn't it? Yeah, amazing.
And just a final point, little note. TWTD reported that I think it was 2 days later that we'd received a take it or leave it bid from Manchester City for David Johnson II, £4 million bid for David Johnson. Whether it was true or not, it was reported by TWTD, but obviously a month or two later he'd end up disappearing off to Forest, didn't he?
Yeah, for 3 million, bit less than. I've got 3 million in my mind. I don't know. Yeah. I think it was less than 4 though, wasn't it? Maybe not. Maybe I got that wrong. But
yeah, no, I think it.
Yeah, I mean, we all loved him, didn't we? Loved Johnson. And I know we've spoken about it before, but yeah, just couldn't catch a break that season, really.
No, sliding doors moments.
Sliding doors moments, and you just couldn't legislate for just how many goals Stuart would ultimately go on to score. Just incredible, really. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Good memories.
Brilliant. Thanks, thank you very much, Dave. As ever, nice and sharp, very concise. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoy the show. Thumbs up, subscribe, etc. Give us a like. As I say, we're confused by the days. We don't know what day this is going to be going out. We don't know what day of the week it is.
Better say, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Well, yes, one thing we can say for sure is it will be going out before the New Year. So, yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for all your listening and contributing there. Brilliant.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. Yeah, have a good one, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. This has been the Rewind Show on Blue Monday, an Ipswich Town podcast. We shall see you in 2025.